Hey, this is Chris from GuitArmy, and in this beginner guitar lesson, we're going to be taking a look at some common walk-ups and walk-downs on guitar. In this lesson, I'm going to be showing you how to play the two most common walk-ups and walk-downs on guitar. And this works whether you're playing an acoustic guitar like this or an electric guitar. It doesn't matter. You're still going to be using these common walk-ups and walk-downs. So what is a walk-up or a walk-down? Typically, the way I would describe it is you're going to be playing one chord, going to another chord, and there's going to be a note in between that's walking down to that chord. So if I'm playing a G chord, there's only two notes between this G and this E minor, and that's either F sharp or F. But the most common walk-down is going to be G, and then you're going to hear an F as it goes down to an E minor. That's considered a walk down when I'm going G major, and then I'm going to go to D over F sharp, and then I'm going to go down to E minor. So the first walk down we're going to take a look at is just that. We're going to go from a G major chord. You can see the chart there, how to play it. G major, and then we're going to go to D over F sharp. And that's basically, you're just playing a regular open D chord, but then you're going to use your thumb here to get this F sharp on the 6th string 2nd fret. So we're going G, D over F sharp, then we're going to go to E minor. And the reason that comes up a lot is that sounds good. It's a good way to transition from one chord to the next. You end up hearing that walk down of G, F sharp, E. It just sounds really good. It's very common, and once you start playing a bunch of songs, you're going to see that that's what people do a lot. So the reason you want to learn these is so that you can recognize it when, one, that you can physically play them, and then two, you can recognize them when you hear them. So once again, we're going G to D over F sharp, down to E minor. Now another variation of that would be a G, and then sometimes you'll see people, instead of going to D over F sharp, they'll take their fingers off, and then they'll just put their first finger here on F sharp. And I think when people tend to do that, what they do is when they put their finger here, they don't strum the whole chord. It's not the best sounding chord. So what they'll tend to do is when you go to play the F sharp, you typically just play that F sharp, and with this first finger here, you want to mute out the 5th string as well. So you can, I would do that if I want to separate out the chord, meaning if I want to hit the lowest, the 6th string first. If I want to separate that away from the chord, it would sound like this. So if I wanted to play it, let it ring longer, I would probably just use a D over F sharp if I want to strum all 6 strings. But if it's going to be a quick walk down, I might just go ahead and do the G over F sharp instead of D over F sharp. So now you can walk that up. I can go from E minor to D over F sharp and then to G. So you can go. If I make it quicker, I think it sounds a little better if you're not on the D over F sharp as long as you can go. Now, do you have to do a walk up? No. You definitely don't. But the more you play guitar, the more that the walk-ups and walk-downs, they kind of they add to what the sound of the song. It sounds a little fancier, and it feels like you're doing more than just strumming, a couple basic chords. You're actually kind of walking a bass line up or down between chords, and that can be a lot of fun. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the second walk-up or walk-down. The second walk down is going to be C to G over B to A minor. And you can do that in reverse, A to G over B to C. All right, so what's going on here is basically the idea is whoever's writing the song, they want to go from a C chord to the 1 chord, or to an A minor chord, I mean. If I was in the key of C, C would be the 1 chord, A minor would be the 6 chord. And if it was in reverse, if I was in A minor, this would be the 1 chord, and that'd be walking up to the flat 3 major chord. That might be more information you need for now if you're a beginner, but I'm just letting you know, songwriting-wise, theory-wise, what's happening there. All right, so we're going to start with a C chord, and then we're going to go to a G over B. So basically what it is when you're playing a G chord, the G over B is if you're just playing strings 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can see the chart right there. It's kind of like you're just kind of playing the inner 4 strings of a G chord. You can use these fingers. This is probably the most common way to play it. But what I end up doing is I use these fingers because it feels more comfortable for me, using my 2nd finger and my pinky. But my advice is try a couple different fingerings. Try this one, and see what works better for you. Because it's not always about just what fingering you're using right now. It's about where you're going to, which is the most comfortable and makes the most sense between the chords. All right, so we have C, G over B, and we go to A minor. And then of course you can reverse that and go from A minor to G over B to C. This is very, very common. So if I reverse it, I can go C, G over B, A minor. Like Dust in the Wind uses this chord progression. I'm not going to try to play or sing it because I can't sing like him. And what's the one by Fleetwood Mac? Landslide, that uses it. I'm thinking also of in Pink Floyd, Comfortably Numb. They use that. They go from A minor to G over B to C. I'm trying to think exactly what the lyrics are, but so there's a lot of songs that use this. It's really, really common, and that's why I think as a beginner guitar player, and you're learning these chords, it makes sense to learn some of these chord transitions and walk-ups and walk-downs, because you're going to hear them, so you might as well have an idea of what they are, because it's going to be easier to recognize and play if you practice them a little bit. Another variation of that walk down would be, instead of playing G over B, sometimes people will they'll go like this. They'll play C, then they'll take their 2nd finger, their 3rd finger comes off, their 2nd finger just moves over here to B on the 5th string, 2nd fret. So you end up with this. And I love that. I actually like that more than the G over B. But once again, just like when we were doing the G and over the F sharp, I would reserve this one for one where I'm kind of picking out the bass note, where you can hear the C, then B, then A minor. So what's happening is this is basically, it's a C over B chord is what it is. And if you separate it out nicely, this actually to me sounds good, even though it sounds wrong. But what it does is it creates some tension that gets resolved when you go to the A minor. And then of course you can reverse that and walk up. That sounds very good. A lot of times I think this is a nice chord progression when you do the C chord, C over B, A minor 7th, and then A minor over G. So it sounds like. And then you can go, wherever you want it to after that. So those are the 2 most common walk-ups and walk-downs on the guitar. Now let's go ahead and practice them a little bit. The first chord progression we're going to practice is going to be G for 2 beats, and and then we're going to do D over F sharp for 2 beats, and then we're going to strum E minor for 4 beats. And we're just going to stick to stick to quarter notes. So when I'm counting in 3, 4, we're just strumming when our foot's going down. 3, 4, keeping it simple. It's more about practicing the transitions and really, doing some kind of fancy rhythm. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, switching to D over F sharp, then E minor for 4 beats. Let's go ahead and do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One last time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the next chord progression, we're going to reverse it. We're going to do 2 beats of E minor, then 2 beats of D over F sharp, and then 4 beats of G. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. One last time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so now we're going to do the same sort of chord progressions here with our C walk down. We're going to go C, then G over B, then A minor. So what we're going to do is we're just going to stick with quarter notes. We're going to do the same pattern as before. 2 beats of C, 2 beats of G over B, and then 4 beats of A minor. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, G over B for 2 beats, then A minor. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. One more time. Now let's go ahead and reverse that chord progression. So we're going to be going the A minor, the G over B, and then to C. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. One more time. If you find that you can't keep up, just because you're not able to grab that the G over B quick enough, I totally get that. And so what you want to do is basically just slow the video down. Go under the speed settings for the video and just slow it down to like 75. 50 is probably too slow, but 75%, if you could do that, is probably going to work out well, just to give you a little more time for those transitions. So if you're going to practice these at home, what you want to do is, don't worry about playing them probably in time. I would first just sit and practice them kind of over and over. Basically train your hands how to do them, and then worry about applying, to an actual, basically a tempo. So I would just practice these for a little while, just get your muscle memory happening so that your fingers remember it, so that when you go to play it, your fingers know exactly where to go. So those are the 2 most common walk up and walk downs that you're going to run across when you start playing songs. Well, I hope you've learned something from this lesson. You'll find it very useful in the future. That's pretty cheesy, huh? I will see you in the next lesson. If you like this lesson and you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing to my channel and clicking that notification bell so that you get notified when I come out with new lessons. And if you didn't think this video totally sucked, please hit like. If you're interested in supporting this channel, you can head on over to patreon.com/GuitArmy. There's all kinds of cool guitar stuff there for you.